It's Hero Factory time, everybody. Welcome to the Bionicle Inspiration series. We're going to be focusing on Hero Factory MOCs today. And I realized 10 episodes ago, I did a Hero Factory episode. And part of me is like, I might just do a Hero Factory episode every 10th episode at some point or something like that. They're fun to do. You guys always enjoy watching them, and I always enjoy making them. So I'm not going to make that a hard and fast rule. It's not like any episode that ends in 4 will be a Hero Factory episode or something. But you can certainly expect more because they're good fun to do. Also, I mentioned last episode, this is made just by looking at the links in the member social media channel on the Discord server. There's a link to the Discord server in the description below if you want to check that out. I tend to use that now as a bit of a resource for just additional mocks that I want to add into certain episodes. But this episode was made purely by looking at that channel there. So, hey, definitely worth putting your social media in there so that I can see it for future BIS episodes, and also so that other people can see it and check out the stuff that you do. They've got easy access with it there. So be sure to head over to the server and just read that channel there if you want to figure out how to be added to it. Let's dive into some Hero Factory mocks. The first one is built by Dan V, and this is Witch Doctor Evil Psychiatrist. So first off, the posing on this is brilliant. The way that the legs are folded, and there's this very deliberate pose of the hand with the pencils that looks like they're about to write something as they're judging you. I think that's so cool, and it's wonderful to see how much the posing really helps with the personality of this mock. I mean, just by looking at it, it exudes this massive sense of evilness. And now, this also would have worked very well on its own. I think just the presence of this character is very strong and communicates a lot. But there is also the fact that there's a severed hand underneath the table here with a little bit of blood, and I think that's another brilliant idea to be included here. Suddenly this goes from a judging, evil, mean psychiatrist who, I guess, wouldn't help you with your trauma. They'd probably give you more trauma. Now they're that, but also there's somebody who murders people on the side. So it's amazing what a little addition or an accessory or a sub build or whatever you want to call it can do for a creation like this. Suddenly it just changes the whole atmosphere and the whole mood. It's really cool. This mock is saying so much, and we're not even talking about the techniques that it uses. It's really cool. I like the little tissue box. I think it's a clever use of that white flag, the little minifigure flag piece that comes on castle sets and different things. Using that as a tissue and having the little slight angle there. It's a very nice addition. It's a perfect accessory for a psychiatrist, especially one that will probably make you cry. I also love the stickers or printed elements that make up the tie. I'm not sure where those come from or whether they're printed or stickered or whatever, but it's a nice way of just jazzing up the tie a little bit. I think that's cool. I also quite enjoy the smooth textures on the suit and the pants. I think that was a perfect choice. And I suppose I should have mentioned this at the start, but this is a really cool idea to be revamping a Hero Factory character and putting them in a different world or giving them a very different context or setting or whatever. It's a super cool approach and a very kind of fresh, unique way of approaching any Hero Factory character. Really like this. And now the Jams Workshop has built Sky Blue. I love the idea of giving some love to the random blue hero that comes from the old and very awesome Hero Factory dropship set. Which, by the way, incredible set. I remember getting that as a kid and loving it. I thought it was going to be kind of boring. I remember buying it as a kid and being like, I think I got it on sale or something. And I was like, I'll get it. It might be better than I think it is. I remember it blew me away and I played with it a bunch. It was such a cool set. Incredible to see so much love being put into this otherwise generic hero character that, to my knowledge, had zero backstory and I don't even think got a name. They were just a pilot. So I love that. And if we read the post here on Instagram, they've given them a bit of a fun backstory. So I'll read a little bit for you here. Sky Blue is a pilot last seen in his 1.0 form flying a dropship. Now he's grown into the leader of the Hero Factory's pilot program. He teaches flying to many heroes, such as Recon, and his jetpack is made up of the wings of his old dropship that was shot down in a dogfight. When he's not teaching, he acts as the air support or transport for other teams. They're so cool. I love that. Suddenly they're a unique, rich character, and like I said, I remember playing with this guy, and because they're a blank template, it was easy and fun to just give them whatever you wanted. So there's no reason you can't do the same. Maybe you had some original characters that you made when you were a little wee lad playing with your Hero Factory characters, or when you were a grown adult playing with your Hero Factory characters. And now you could give them a little bit more context and give them a fun revamp, much like this has been done here. It's a very cool idea and very fun. So the jetpack is a fun addition, and obviously these wing and jet pieces all came from the original set. They appeared in other things too, but if you just had that set, you could easily do something like this. And I think jetpacks are always worth putting on any kind of Hero Factory character. One, it's continuing that flying theme from the original set, which is fun, but also jetpacks I think work really well on a Hero Factory character because typically your CCBS builds have the issue of the back being super exposed and looking boring because the armor doesn't always allow you to fully cover that up, depending on how you build it, of course. So putting that on the back, there's a nice way of filling in what would normally be a just exposed, boring-looking area. So jetpacks work great, and jetpacks are always cool. Kane says he has rebuilt Jetpug. That's an accident. I meant to say Jetbug, but I would love to see a version of Jetbug that's just a pug. Anyway, Jetbug here has been reimagined in a very awesome way. So the bulk of the body has a very heavily greebled and detailed textured look to it, and it's a very unique take on the character because, I don't know, I think of Bug, I don't really think that heavily robotic, but I really like it. Well, you can see a few shots here of Jetbug without any armor on, and it's just the frame underneath, and I actually think this frame looks really cool. Typically, a lot of frame designs that I've shown on frame-centric episodes of the show can be very gappy, and I don't know, they're just not that appealing to look at, and that's kind of the point. You don't need a frame to look that amazing. You want to put armor over the top of it, and then it becomes amazing. So a frame never has to be cool. But it actually looks pretty cool here, even when it's unarmored. There's something about it that reminds me of like a Terminator skeleton or something. It just looks menacing and impressive. So the fact that it looks good with and without armor is awesome. And the frame uses a bunch of these specific pieces here. We can see them in dark bluish gray on the bulk of the leg design. Now this is a super helpful piece to have when you are building some sort of custom leg. I mean, specifically that upper leg design uses them in a very nice way so that you can very easily integrate CCBS pieces into it. So if you don't have some of these, I definitely recommend you get some because they're very helpful for custom limbs. So if you're struggling on some of those right now, I recommend picking a few of those up. Some of the different flame additions, like on the jetpack, on the legs, on the gun, and also on the new addition of a sort of big Thornax kind of tail area here. I love that. I especially love that inclusion of the, as I like to call it, bug butt. And the fact that flames are coming out of it too, it's awesome. That's a very nice addition here, which is very welcome for this bug-inspired character. Which, I don't understand, like, what was the pitch like at LEGO when they're like, okay guys, we need to come up with fire villains. We've got a guy named Firelord, Nitro Blast. What other kind of, like, fire-related things could we do? What about bugs? Because, bugs and fire, they're a perfect combination. I don't know what they were thinking with that, but I always thought Jetbug was a pretty unique and interesting character and certainly stood out from the other fire villains. So no hate for me. I enjoy Jetbug, but I don't know what their thinking was there. I tried to look it up on the wiki and there was nothing to do with anything there, which... When's LEGO going to release the behind the scenes of Hero Factory book where they go into all the design processy stuff for that? That'd be cool. I'd love to read that. We're getting distracted here, but still, this version of Jetbug really shines and really does look fantastic. So much more menacing and just a lot cooler. So well done on an awesome revamp here. And that's it for some Hero Factory mocks today on the Bionicle Inspiration series. No, it's not. I have one more. I'm trying to end the episode early. I was 8 minutes in. I was like, that was a short episode. The next mock we have is by GK733, and this is Hero Factory Daniela Capricorn. I'm glad I didn't end the episode early, because this is an awesome mock that I'm excited to talk about. I remember when this first came out, I was like, I can't wait for a Hero Factory episode where I can talk about this. We're finally here. So, this mock brings to life a news reporter character from various Hero Factory like shorts and movies and shows and different things. I'll show you a few shots of them from, I believe it's the, what was it called? Rise of the Rookies. It was difficult to find high quality images of the character, unfortunately. There's just not a lot of images out there online. So I had to just make do with what I could find. So apologies if these aren't super high quality, but you get the idea of what they looked like. And this is a really awesome take on that character. They look incredibly accurate to the source material. The hair design here particularly grabbed me. I love the choice of using these larger gold sword pieces that came on the Speeder Demon Hero Factory villain set. Definitely a nice part use, that's for sure. I also enjoy the way that the dress has been designed. It appears to be using a lot of different system curved slope pieces, as well as some flex tubing as well in red there. And I think that's a really good way of approaching that dress. The way it's been animated, it very much looks like cloth, which it's a dress, of course it would. But I don't know, I guess you could have used red cloth, like from the Praetorian Guard set or whatever, but Honestly, I think this looks way better than clothwood, so I think it's a really good design. I do also enjoy this high heel design. It's nice to see a few modern parts being used in this, like the curved 1x2 plate, one of those system pieces there. This high heel design is notorious, by the way, because, well, let me just read what the Hero Wiki says, or Heropedia, excuse me, and it'll explain why it is notorious if you're not familiar. Daniela Capricorn, this is what it says on Heropedia, wasn't based on an official LEGO model. Her upper body was made by the designers, but her legs were actually modeled on erotic female Bionicle models made by fans that you can see on certain parts of the internet. They used the exact same configuration, meaning the designers had to have looked at it for inspiration. So yeah, I'm not going to show you the mock that's the original source material, by the way. You can find that yourself. I'm glad they've advanced the design here, because apparently the original animators didn't advance the design. It was just one for one. So it's nice to see a few modern pieces being used there, and the design kind of working in with the rest of the way that this has been reimagined and rebuilt to fit the style of the builder. That's good to see for sure. So yeah, some interesting Hero Factory lore if you're not familiar with that there. But still, I love seeing unique characters from LEGO-related movies or media or TV shows or whatever brought to life in this fashion. It's the kind of thing that I remember watching that movie as a kid and being like, man, I'd love for that to be a set. That's really cool. And I wonder if this was some sort of tease for a future set. Of course it wasn't, but at the time I thought it was. So finally being able to see this built and given sort of physical form is really exciting and really cool. Plus, any Hero Factory character that isn't a hero or isn't a villain and is just some random dude that lives in the world and has a sort of 9-to-5 day job or whatever. I love that. I always think that's exciting. It just makes the world seem a lot more rich and cool. Because, as nice as it is to build heroes and villains, that's always great. Doing weird stuff like this is just as fun. So, yeah. Great mock, great execution, and great to see that source material brought to life like this. That's it for some Hero Factory mocks today. Hopefully you enjoyed watching these, and hey, be sure to check the links in the description below to see some of the other stuff that these builders have done. They've built some awesome mocks today. You may as well check out some of the other brilliant things that they've built as well. Also in the description below is links to my own social media, so you can check out some of the stuff that I've got going on there. Recently posted a brand new mock over on Instagram. I did also do a video about it, but if you want to see some nice high-definition pictures, they're there on Instagram. And I'm probably going to be posting a minifigure fig bath soon on Instagram, probably later today before this episode goes up. So you can also check that out if you're interested. Otherwise, here, if you want to submit your mocks to the show, you can do so through the submission email that's currently on your screen. Don't forget that one as well. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed some Hero Factory mocks. Happy building, and bye for now.